see across the road here, that's where they grow all the rice, which I'm getting used to now, as it's the staple diet here, or at least it's been put with most of the meals that we've had. And again, you can see on this side of the road as well, it's a very wet area, obviously to promote the rice. But it's very interesting to see the different cultures and also the different types of farming compared with England. This is still a very, very rural area, but as you can see, they're making plans here, making plots available for building, those that have got the money. But as I say, a real rural outlook here, but still nice, still pleasant, and a lot of people working in the fields to earn a living, and obviously selling their crops at market or at the side of the road, as I've just explained. Here's some rather sad looking cows, some more on the other side. They look rather lean, but I guess that's the type of breed they are over here. Some have horns, some have not. Ah, there's Alan Tishmarsh looking at his crops. Fancy he being here. Here's a nice shot of a plantation which look like little palm trees, probably banana trees, coconut trees. Very, very pretty actually, but obviously very, very dry. They don't get rain here much, apart from the other night. There's some fruit from the side of the road, the fruit sellers. Here's some more coming up, which coconut ice cream there you can see. And basically people just sell from the side of the road to make a living, and that's how it works here. We're well on the road now to San Clemente, and also if you followed on with this road you would end up in Quito. And this is the road that most people come down when they're coming down to Portoviejo for holidays and stuff like that. As you can see, spanning round the Pana Vista, you can see it's very, very dry. The sun's out now, it's getting very hot. Thankfully we're inside Simon's truck, so I'm not getting too badly burnt yet, but I've brought the sunscreen, and basically enjoying the ride, seeing all the areas that have been used for development. People come here and just buy the land, but then there are others on this side who just make do with what they've got, which obviously isn't as grand as some of the properties that we've passed previously down the road, but you get a good idea of what the area is like and how people are, what the roads are like. This bit's a little bit better, but certainly some of the roads we've been on are quite dangerous, and you've obviously got to watch what you're doing when you're driving, or else you'll go down a hole. But anyway, there you go. Well, there's one thing for sure, I'm never going to complain about potholes again in Northumberland. Christ, this is full of potholes, and Simon's doing his best to navigate them as best he can. But as yet, we haven't gone down one yet, so I'm trusting him to get us there safely and trusting him to get us safely back. This road is full of these trucks coming past us, so it's very, very busy, so you have to have your wits about you. Not ideal for learner drivers. Here we have Rocafuerte, a small town, again right out in the sticks, but I'm trying my best to keep the camera straight, but Simon's doing a cracking job avoiding the potholes and then being overtaken by these big trucks. As I say, bloody nightmare driving here. Can you imagine me driving down here with the Jag? I don't think so. Here we are on the A69, bit of decent tarmac, and look at this, a little lagoon. Obviously there's some fishing here, ideal for mosquitoes perhaps at night, but anyway, through the day looks rather nice. Now this is more like a road, like the coast road from Newcastle down to the beach at Whitley Bay, except of course we're in Ecuador, but who cares. And here we have the equivalent of the Wentworth Leisure Centre, but this one's in Ecuador. Here we have a desired Odez Res on the hill with all that land, very impressive, except nobody wants to see it. Cemetery on the hill, nice little village, San Eloy, 30 miles an hour going through it, but as you see, no speed cameras. This is the start of San Clemente. As you can see, we have the Pacific Ocean here on the left hand side. That will be a first for me once I start dipping, not skinny dipping but dipping. And as we're driving down here the main road straight past the beach on the left, all the properties are getting ready for next week, which is the holiday week for the Ecuadorians. And this place is going to be absolutely swimming. Here we have quite a nice property, whatever that is, just next to the side of the beach. And again, all these properties on the right here, the verandas where people will obviously eat, chill out. It's quite amazing. I didn't think I'd ever see the Pacific as close as that, but now I have. And here we have the first look at our coconut tree, which obviously will be chopped down next week and sold to all the visitors. I've already experienced the actual coconut milk, which Simon introduced me to yesterday in Portoviejo, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Despite the fact that I don't like coconut, I actually enjoyed it. It's lovely, creamy, milky, and was obviously served on ice, which made it very, very thirst quenching. Here we have some rather plush apartments on the right hand side here, but they're probably around about 80 grand in dollars, but you're probably 50,000–60,000 pounds English money. And by having one of these apartments, you have membership to the club, the leisure club on the other side of the road, all the year round. So certainly something that would put millers to shame, I think, because the building is actually rather good. And here we are in San Clemente, walking down to the beach with Simon to dip my toes in the Pacific Ocean, which will be a first. A bit of breakers coming through here, but you can see it's just like a small fishing village really. But as I say, next week's going to be absolutely swimming, sorry about the pun, because people are coming down here for the holiday, and that's why all these people are getting their properties ready. I've just seen a little gecko run across the road past me. Yeah, well, this is the San Clemente and the beach, which I've already seen previously when Simon sent the videos back, and I don't know whether you can see, but this little crab is running away from me. Obviously I'm threatening him, but I'm not. And there are all the boats ready to go out for the fishermen, and then right round this side all the way down, properties that overlook the Pacific. How idyllic. And as we speak, it's now 11:45 Ecuadorian time. Simon looking every bit the part here, me with my white legs following on behind, and off we go to the Pacific. Yeah, and we've got a bird here which looks like similar to an oyster catcher from home. It's got a longer bill. He's obviously off because he's seen us, but anyway, into the water in a couple of minutes. So what I'll do, I'll just switch off the video and then recommence in a few seconds from now.
Alright, so this is him going into the water, the old man. I think he's going to go and look for some sharks. He asked Jess about sharks earlier on, he was shitting himself. But there's no sharks here. So I think he's just seeing what the water's like, might go for a swim later. And hopefully his white legs will have disappeared and all. There he is.
Well, that's both of us in the water now. It's absolutely gorgeous here. The water is reasonably warm. Not totally warm, but warmer than the North Sea obviously. But it really is nice, and as you well know, everybody back home, I prefer the seascape to the landscape, so it could be quite easy to settle here, but only joking. First things first, let's see a bit more of Ecuador before we come to rash decisions. But as you can see in the distance, they're obviously doing up various properties. People have bought the land and have just built whatever you see in front of you. Here people will be eating and sleeping probably after all the heat down here, because it could actually knock you straight out. I'm feeling quite tired now, and it's, as I say, nearly 12 o'clock, so it's getting to the hottest part of the day. And yes, just like before, I haven't got my hat on. Where is it? It's in the car, but we'll put that right later because we're going further up the coast, and to be sensible, I'm going to get pretty frazzled alive. Anyway, that's me dip in the Pacific, and we're now going back up towards the car, and we're going to see Manfred, one of Simon's German pals, who's got a bar at the top. Again, gentleman that just came down here on a whim, bought some land, set up a bar, and is making his life here. I think he's brought his wife with him, or if it's not his wife, it's his girlfriend, but it doesn't really matter, there's two of them. So it's quite idyllic really, but there's a lot of poverty around here because people have not got much money, but they seem to exist. They're very happy, they don't need all the trappings that we have at home. That's quite apparent with the cars that are being driven. No disrespect to Simon, but unless you have a sort of a beat up old 4x4, which most people seem to drive, you don't get round, you don't get very far, because as I say, the roads are shocking, and I wouldn't like to drive any of our cars over here. They would actually be wrecked to bits. Anyway, that's enough for now. We're going up to the bar. Back again shortly. This is Manfred's little taverna, which Simon's brought me to, and bought me a nice orange drink. And he, true to form, is having his Pilsner, whichever he likes. As you can see, it's packed out.
It will be on the weekend.
And it will be on the weekend.
Now the back, that's when they've got the...
And the back, straight through the gap there, is where they have the discotheque and everything, and the dancing. And if we're around for Halloween, you can see on the wall there, there's an advertisement to get here for 9 o'clock, and there's going to have a celebration of Halloween on that night. Where there's obviously drink, food, dancing, everything, the Ecuadorian way. We've had a nice fish salad lunch here at this little taverna, and we're now going to start to turn round and go off somewhere else, and then I suppose eventually make tracks to go home. But it's only 1:10, so we've still got quite a bit of time before we get back to see Jess and little Owen at her mum's. So we'll keep you posted. There may be other things on the way that I'll snap and have a chat about.